Ladies and gentlemen, can you please stand for our national anthem?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming? Whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
So I'd like to welcome everybody to the first Nathan Hale dinner. This is a continuation of a dinner that we've had for the last 3 years we call the Tech Talk. So we decided to ground it in something that had a historical significance to the Defense Intelligence Mission, in this case Nathan Hale being the first spy for the United States. And I'm your MC for tonight. I'm Brian Drake. I'm the president and CEO of the Defense Intelligence Memorial Foundation. And I'm going to do the same thing I do every year. I'm going to give you a bit of an overview around the state of the charity, and then I'm going to make a quick set of announcements. And then we have one award presentation, and then you're going to get to eat some good food. So first, I want to thank our sponsors here. Many of you see on the logos displayed near you, but specifically we'd like to thank Carasoft, MITRE, Mantech. Feel free to cheer for your company as we go through this list. There you go. We'll give it let's try again. Carasoft. There we go. MITRE. Yeah, it's decent. That's okay. It's decent. Blue Voyant. Try harder. AWS. Whoa. Accrete. Woo! That's my company, so I have to cheer. Northrop Grumman. Oh, come on, guys, come on. Capital One. There you go. CACI. All right, yeah. Cherokee Federal. All right. Ulysses Advisors. And my favorite company, the Washington Commanders. If you don't know already, lifelong Redskins fan, so it has to be the Washington Commanders. If you don't know already, this is our 5-year anniversary. And I thought what would be fun is if I went back into our back files and looked at what some of our goals were 5 years ago and how we did against these goals. And I'll say in our first year, our goals were kind of modest. The first goal was to establish and incorporate a tax-exempt nonprofit. It's kind of necessary and essential, but we wrote it down, so we got it done. Recruit 5 board members, check. Obtain a post office box. These were the goals. These were the goals, very modest. And open a bank account. And we opened that bank account with $315. And here we are. Our fiscal target for that year was to raise $50,000. We raised $106,000 that year. Year 2. No, we're not doing all 5 years. I just did 3 of the 5. So, year 2, hire an accountant. That $315 doesn't spend itself, right? I mean, you've got to find a way to account for it, right? Hire a lawyer. I was very reticent to do this, but we had to do that. Expand beyond DIA. When we first commissioned this, we were talking about creating a charity for DIA exclusively. But when we started to look at what the actual need was across the community, we realized that when you account for NSA, NGA, DIA, NRO, and the intelligence service centers, you're looking at double the number of people passed than the CIA. And so to us, that felt like we had an obligation to expand the mission and incorporate all those other fallen families. And we did that at the outset. So it was a year 2 goal, we made it a year 1 goal. The other goal we had was to award our first scholarship, and we gave that to Marie Mickley, who got the Scotty Wirtz Scholarship. And this is the Wirtz family here, by the way. And we awarded that on the 31st of March, 2020. And Marie graduated last year from the University of Wisconsin Law School, so we're very proud. And this shows kind of where our learning was. We said we're going to add the DIMF to the CFC in year 2. Yeah, that was not an achievable goal. I thought our American bureaucracy was hard. You've never seen anything like the CFC. So there were many different requirements, like we had to exist for 3 years. We had to pass 2 clean audits. And I can say this year, 5 years in the making, we've met all of those qualifications, and we should qualify in the next 2 weeks. So we're very proud. So in year 2, our fiscal goal was 100K, right? You double it every year, 50K, 100K. We raised 137K that year, and that was during COVID. So that was pretty hard to do, and that would, in no small measure, is due to the people in the room today, because we wouldn't have been able to do that. Sight unseen, giving us $100,000, spectacular. So year 5, today, what are we doing? One of the first things we had on our list was to re-examine our bylaws, and we just completed that 2 months ago, and have updated those to meet current needs and other programs we've expanded to. One of the goals we wrote down was to expend all of the funds that we have for scholarships. We didn't quite get there. We changed our strategy a bit so that we could sustain the charity beyond just awarding a bunch of scholarships. But to date, we have awarded $240,435.89. We still have a lot to do. We know we have about 2.1 million in need, and we know that's going to be out to like 2039. We're tracking kids that are infants. So we look forward to those challenges, and we're on the right track to fulfill them. So in our fiscal year goal for year 5 was $300,000 to raise. Today, we have cash on hand of $497,906.77. A couple of goals we didn't accomplish was to hire an executive secretary, hire a director of human talent. I don't know why, we just had it on the list. And to get an office. And now I think after COVID, nobody wants to be in an office anymore, so I'm not sure we're going to do that ever. But we learned a lot of different lessons along the way. You probably know we're an all-volunteer workforce. We don't take salaries. That keeps our overhead pretty low. So we're very proud that we are less than 10% of our overhead, and that goes to things like paying for lawyers, paying for that accountant, paying for audits. And we've done 2 audits so far, and each of them has been unqualified. Now that sounds bad, but it's actually very good. When you have an unqualified audit, that's a very good thing. All right, so this is the hard part. So a I've been the president of this organization all 5 of those years, and it's been a spectacular journey. I have to thank Jim McElmail and Russ Anderson, both DO case officers that helped me shape, some guy in analysis, how to figure out how to do this and bring it into reality. And I was still in government when this whole thing was put together. And I'm still certain today that the lawyers were trying to kill the thing from go. And here we are. Here we are. Look around. We're not going anywhere. So one of the primary metrics of a successful and healthy organization is making sure that there's turnover at the top. And I feel like this is a good time for me to step down and step up for other people. So if you're not following social media, I resigned from the charity. Tonight is my last night. But it's been a wild, fun journey. And I think the charity hasn't been in a better fiscal position than it ever has. We've got some great people. Our board members, our executive staff, far too numerous to name right now. But they are great people committed to the cause. And I feel secure in being able to step away and leave it in capable hands. So, if I had it to do all over again, I would. I would. It's spectacular. So, and it wouldn't be possible with the people in the room tonight. So please enjoy yourselves. Please take care. And that's that. All right. I'm going to invite Jason Wright to come up to the stage, please. Thank you, thank you. So I think, Jeff, you're performing the ceremony for us? Oh, okay. So every year we give an Industry Advocate of the Year award, and it goes through a pretty rigorous selection process. We have lots of folks to go through and decide who has contributed the most to the charity in the given year. This year we're awarding it to the Washington Commanders, and Jason has been so gracious to accept it here tonight for their continual commitment to our cause and their generous donations to it. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. Thank you. That was going to test my shoulders and my forearms to hold that while I talked. Once upon a time, I was in that kind of shape. I'm not anymore. It is really an honor to be here. Brian, congratulations to you. This is your baby. You birthed it. It's walking now, and you're stepping back like any good parent does and lets the baby walk. But I just want you to know that you've set a very inspirational vision here. This is a set of people and families that serve in invisibility, and then when they lose somebody, grieve in invisibility and try to move on in life in invisibility. And you're bringing visibility to that second half. Just because they served silently does not mean they need to do the rest of life silently, and you have given them a voice. And that's why we support you, and that's why we're grateful for you, and we're incredibly proud. Can we give him another round of applause? I'll be really brief because food is much better than me talking at you. And the fellowship here is pretty great too. But we at the Commanders support this for a few reasons. Number one, I don't think there's any organization that better represents what the DMV is all about than this one. When I think about this entire metropolitan area, it's a place where people come from all over the country and all over the world because they have some sense of mission beyond themselves. It's probably the one thing that ties us all together across political lines and racial lines and socioeconomic lines is this sense of mission and purpose. It's where all the NGOs are. It's where the military services are. It's where the people that are trying to change the world via government, people that are trying to influence our government via the world, they're all here. And there's a reason for that. This is a place of world changers, mostly for good, sometimes for otherwise, and this is a force for good. And that's why we support it. You know, the second thing is that when we thought about renaming the team, irrespective of your thoughts on it, please don't share today. I don't want to hear about it. But when we thought about renaming the team, the previous ownership group thought that Commanders represented that connection at least as decent as any other name could. It represents the military service, which more than anything has that sense of mission, purpose, sacrifice beyond yourselves, and leadership that is really represented by the people in this room and the families represented in this room. And the last reason we support is personal, because I lead the organization and sometimes I get to direct our decisions a little bit. I don't talk about it much because it does not need to be public knowledge, but I served in the IC as a Green Badger for 5 years before I took this job. So I worked alongside maybe some of you at some of the 3 letters. And when I was there, working on some of the more complex business problems that in the background support the warfighter, I got to see so many of you at work, as I said, in invisibility and in silence, working so hard, being in skiffs till 3 a.m., trying to solve complex problems that no one has faced before, and nobody freaking knows. And you can't go home and tell anybody about it. And when we've worked through something difficult, you can't even go home and have the pillow talk with your spouse on it. That is a set of strengths, fortitude, and sacrifice that people don't really recognize. And so when we had the opportunity to support this, and for me to come full circle and say, this is a way that I can support those families that I worked so hard alongside for all those years prior to this role, it was a no-brainer for me to do it. So I hope that the next 5 years have the same metrics of growth and acceleration. I'm going to try to establish things that no matter where I am or whomever is leading this organization in the future, the commanders stay tied to this because this is the kind of thing we should all be a part of. So thank you for having us. Enjoy your food, and I will see you next time. Oh, that's right. That's right.
Wait.
That's right.
So, a manifestation of their generosity, the commanders have given to us 2 tickets for the home opener against the Giants. Home opener for the Giants. It's 2 tickets for the game suite, which is both 2 field passes and parking passes. I've had season tickets last year. This is an incredible experience, by the way. Okay, so if you bought a ticket, your name is in this hat. And we're drawing one name.
Okay.
We're drawing one name.
All right.
Well, this one's, we want to do that. Here we go.
Exactly. I mean, are you sorting and getting your people you don't like out of there?
Oh, look, Brian Drake. So you can get off. No, okay. There we go. Here we go.
Got it? All right. The field pass is going to be great. You're going to get the first look at Jaden Daniels on a regular season game up close. So let's see. All right. Oh. Keith Pellegrini. All right. There we go.
Get up here.
There you go.
Oh, look at this.
Congratulations.
Your comments were really, really strong. Thanks so very much.
Momentum. I appreciate it. Well, congratulations, and I will see you on game day. I'll make sure I come say hello.
I will. You gotta put that on. This is for your second ticket. No, don't.
Oh, I get to pull the second ticket.
No,
Okay.
no. I would take your wife or someone. Okay, that's what I would do.
Oh, that's for the second. Oh, I
Yeah,
got
but
you.
don't spill out all the stuff
got
that's
you. We'll
underneath.
He's
Don't
got you throwing away the
taking
trash.
pictures. Keith, you don't take direction well.
I don't.
Okay. All right, thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you very
Congrats.
much.
All right, let's eat. I hope dinner was good. I liked it. We're now at the point of the second half of the program, and I'd like to invite to the stage our latest scholar, Ms. Chandler Marshall.
Thank you. From the moment I was invited to speak to you tonight, I knew I would start with those words. Thank you. And I mean that on multiple levels, but here's one you may not expect. My father and my mother's family and friends have told me what a hard worker my mother was, and that the work that she did was important. These are things that you expect to hear from family and friends. But when you stepped forward and donated in my mother's honor, that's something different. It says that her peers recognize the importance of what she did and the kind of person she had to be to do it. You honored her sacrifice, and that means a lot. You didn't know my mother, but she was like you. She helped people. My father's told me about one of her proudest moments. It occurred the summer before she died, and she was working at the office of the comptroller at the Defense Intelligence Agency. And the Defense Attaché office in Europe came in with a request for funding to upgrade the armor on their vehicles to protect them from terrorists. Ordinarily, they would have had to wait until the end of the fiscal year to get that funding, but my mother scrounged through the sofa cushions at DIA and found them the funding when they needed it. She kept them safe. And I know that if you're here, you're in the business of keeping people safe. She'd be proud and grateful that you stepped forward in her honor to help her children. And she's not the only one who's proud and grateful. My father and the single parents of the other scholarship students you support are dramatically affected. In the aftermath of intense loss, you step in and remove a huge burden from the spouses of the fallen. You honor their loss, and you help them with the most important job that they are now entrusted with, to raise the children of the fallen and give them the tools they need to emerge from the shadow of tragedy into a beautiful and fulfilling life. And over the years, you've become like part of our family. You're among the people my brother and I feel a responsibility to, and you've contributed to the drive that got us through the long nights of studying. You may remember my brother spoke to you a couple of years ago, and I think he threw the term Sisyphean at you. Well, I'm not that kind of girl, and he and I have always had different goals and dreams. His was to jump out of airplanes for a living, and mine was to spend my days reading long legal documents from the comfort of a desk. Although I have to tell you, I'm in the process of studying for the bar exam right now, and the thought of jumping out of an airplane is increasingly appealing, so. But regardless of how different our dreams were, you found a way to help us both achieve them. You've literally given the children of the fallen the opportunity to pursue their dreams. In my case, this means becoming a lawyer, but it also means having the opportunity to give back. And thanks to you, I've already experienced that opportunity when I took part in an immigrant rights clinic at my school and helped a young man gain asylum status. This wasn't just any young man, it was a young man whose father was killed by the Taliban and who was threatened for his part in promoting the education of women in Afghanistan. He escaped from Afghanistan and made it to the United States, but more than a year later, he still hadn't received the asylum status that would enable him to pursue the American dream. And thanks to you, I was there to help him break through the bureaucratic obstacles he faced. I'll never forget the day that I got to call him with the news that he gained asylum status. My father tells me that I changed a life for the better that day. That experience reminds me of the story of the girl and the starfish. Thank you. I don't know if you've heard this story before, but a young girl and her family were staying at the beach, and one night there was a violent storm. The next morning, when she and her father went for a walk on the beach, there were stranded starfish everywhere, thousands of them, blown up onto the beach by the storm. And her father told her that when the sun got high, the starfish would die. So the young girl walked along the beach, picked up a starfish, and threw it in the water. And as she walked along, she continued to pick up starfish, and another, and so on, until her father told her, you know, there's so many, you can't really make a difference. And that little girl picked up another starfish, threw it back in the ocean, and said, I made a difference to that one. The donors of the Defense Intelligence Memorial Foundation made a difference to me and to my brother and to Marie Mickley, the children of DIA employees lost on 9/11. And through their generosity, they will continue to make a difference for children and parents who need that light in the darkness. And so again, thank you.
So now I'm going to invite to the stage John Darby, our newly appointed chairman of our board.
Thanks, Brian. One thing I do have to say before we get started, you skipped over one company in the cheering section, and I will hear about it if I don't raise it right here. So Mantech, okay, all right. That's all right. So I want to take a few minutes. First of all, I'm honored to be part of the foundation and be able to take a few minutes to be part of this program and recognize a very special person. Brian mentioned this is his last event as the foundation president. Hopefully it won't be his last event here with the foundation. We look forward to ongoing relationship with Brian as the foundation moves forward. So specifically how this foundation started, Brian talked a little bit about it. In January 2019, there was a terrorist attack in Syria. 4 Americans were killed, 2 of whom were federal employees with the intelligence community. Scotty Wirtz from DIA and Senior Chief Petty Officer Shannon Kent, who worked up at Fort Meade with NSA. So at DIA, folks were thinking about how can we honor the legacy of Scotty going forward, and thought, what is it about Scotty that was special? And what came up was his sense of service, his professionalism, and his kindness. And how can we sustain those attributes going forward? And they conceptualized the idea of a foundation to support the children of those left behind. So this is, I'd say it started just from a seed of an idea up to where we are right now. The foundation, as you said, although it was started up as DIA, expanded to the entire defense intelligence enterprise. Some people get confused about what do you mean, defense intel. It's DIA, NSA, NGA, NRO, and the service intelligence centers. Over 50 people from that enterprise have lost their lives in the line of duty since 2000. And that's a lot, you think about, and how many kids are connected to those over 50 losses that we've had. And those children who lost a parent, they didn't have a choice about their parent being in a dangerous situation. Yet they're the ones that have to carry the burden of having lost a parent for the rest of their lives. The foundation can help ease that burden a bit. I love Chandler's starfish story. You know, I tell that, you know, not specifically with the starfish, but I use the phrase, hey, you can't, by helping one person, you can't change the world, but you can change the world for one person by just helping that one person. And that's what this foundation does, helps one kid at a time through their education expenses. So the first meeting of this foundation was in September 2019. Those few who joined Brian, he mentioned a couple of Jim McNamara, Russ Anderson, Mike Wertheimer, Bob Gourley, Katie McFarland, and General Mike Maples were all there. I know Bob and Mike are here. I'm not sure if any of the others are here, but the founding members, if you could stand up and recognize you. So Brian has been, some would say relentless, but that's in a good way, keeping his eye on the ball about the mission of this foundation and what we need to do to take this foundation forward. So I want to take a few minutes and on behalf of the board of directors of the foundation, recognize Brian for his inspired vision, his tireless efforts to move the foundation forward, and his dedication, most importantly, to the families of the fallen here. And as I've been connected with this foundation since January, that's a consistent theme that I've seen over the last 6 months, is his focus and attention on the families. It's not just some esoteric thing, that we meet and talk about stuff. It's never losing sight of why this foundation exists in the first place. So I want to, invite him to stay with us, connected with the foundation as its founder. And Brian, I hope will play a role with this foundation in the years to come. And a big thank you to his spouse, Becca. I think anybody, yeah. I mean, I am under no illusion that Brian has not spent, long hours on weekends and nights doing all the things that it takes to get a nonprofit like this underway and sustained. And it takes a lot of energy, and he can't do it. Couldn't have done it without your support, so thanks, Becca. So let me wrap up here. Got a couple of tokens of appreciation. Come on up here, Brian. And I'm so organized here. This is so well wrapped. I don't know what's in which, but one apparently is for you and one for Becca. But,
so anyway. She has to come up.
Come on up. There's a bag with you too.
This says pray. Does that mean
Maybe it's combined.
okay?
Well, it's for both of you. The flowers are just for you. You can share
I
the
didn't
flowers.
get any flowers.
You can enjoy the flowers too if you
Okay.
like. So anyway, that's for
Are we
both of
opening
you.
them here?
Sure, why not?
Okay.
Go ahead.
It's totally unscripted. I have no idea what's going on. I have to let go. All right, here we go. Are we racing or? I'm winning. I'm winning.
You can tear it. It's okay.
Oh, I'm trying to slow down for you. Oh, look at this. Not a small amount of wrapping. It's a lot, John.
If I'd wrapped it, it'd be a ball of
Oh,
newspaper.
look at this. This is beautiful.
So let me read this to the crowd. It's a silver plate for your vision, unwavering dedication, and tireless commitment to the families of the fallen. We hereby honor and salute our founder, Brian Drake, 2024.
Thank you. Oh, very nice.
And a nice frame for the family.
My wife is a photographer, so she loves frames. And that's spectacular.
So we divvied it up the right way.
No, that's you got
All right,
it.
Cool.
John,
So,
you're doing a great job.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
All right.
So we're going to finish our dinner for the next kind of 10, 15 minutes, and then we have an open bar for anybody that wants to stay and hang out and meet amazing Chandler Marshall and obviously Sandy Wirtz, who's here tonight as well with us. So thank you all for coming. Thanks for an amazing support you've given us this year, and looking forward to the continued support you've given us next year. Thanks.